speeds upwards of 140 miles an hour right now at this point. So obviously a breaking news event there taking place in Southern California. We're not exactly sure if this is a chase at this point, but no police in pursuit as of yet. All right, so they're just following it very closely here on Live Now from Fox. Let's dive into some of this audio from our Sky Fox team here on Live Now from Fox.
Suspect bails out of that condominium area, and it was on and cracking. They were on, I believe it was Day Creek, this vehicle going on the wrong way on most of the ride up to the freeway from Victoria Gardens. If you don't know where Victoria Gardens is, you're clearly not a local, but that is a huge mall out here in the Rancho Cucamonga area. Now you can see, I brought up the speeds almost immediately because I could not believe what I was seeing. This vehicle actually getting into the 160s for a while there. I don't know, somebody trying to interrupt me? Are we going live? Okay, anyways, I wish the IFB was a little better. We're working our way back to where we are, so the IFB should be getting better. But we're going to keep an eye on this pursuit. We're doing this for the internet right now. This vehicle, that is a person, apparently started as some sort of burglary, robbery, something at the mall. Again, not confirmed. Then some sort of foot pursuit. They chased this guy. Shots were fired. A deputy from the police department of Rancho Cucamonga Police Department was shot. There was a huge barricade going on. Then this vehicle tears out of there. Maybe the suspect, maybe a distraction, but at any rate, you can see it right now. Those speeds, that is real. 140 miles an hour. We've seen it, that motorcycle going faster. Skyfox definitely keeping up with them. But as far as the ground units, they're going to be backing off. The helicopter staying with it. This continuing. This is westbound on the 210 freeway. Again, watching things like this, I got to tell you, every muscle in my body is tense. Anything happens in front of that motorcycle right now, this is going to come to a devastating end for that rider. And of course, don't want to see it, don't want to be part of it. This suspect apparently running like he's running for his life, because I would venture to say, after shooting a deputy, I'm not saying a vigilante type of justice, but this person definitely has reason to get these types of speeds. We're continuing on. You can see it right there. As far as law enforcement behind him, I would venture to say the only thing that's going to be keeping up is a helicopter. Are they making calls? Are they getting other units ahead of them? I would say yes. But these high speeds, well into the triple digits. Eminently, copy all. I bet. Yep, there's one of them, CHP. I don't want to lose him, but I also don't want to, I don't want to show too much of the CHP just because I don't want to lose the bike. Yes, of course, Lisa, I can always hear.
All right, just listening in there to this, Stu Mandel doing a great job, courtesy of our Sky Fox 11 crew, upwards of 140 miles an hour right now in Southern California, saying this one potentially tied to another incident of shots fired there between law enforcement and individuals. So we're not exactly sure what's going on here, but obviously this individual moving at a high rate of speed. Viewer discretion is advised because one wrong move could be very detrimental. You can see him potentially exiting right here. I'm not exactly sure what road that might be in Southern California, but going through a red light, cars, incoming traffic, a dangerous situation as he's turning now. He's going the exact opposite direction. So off again, on again in terms of this, the highway there, upwards already just getting on the on-ramp, over triple digits already, and a dangerous scene. This is 4 or 5 lane traffic there. as he's kind of weaving in and out of traffic over this HOV lane right now. And they're moving so fast right now that it's even hard to see some of the signs to give us a sense of exactly where this might be in Southern California. You can see they're pointing right now. You can also see them just put up kind of this locator saying in Piedmont, in the Mesa, the 210, in that carpool lane. So I believe Stu might be talking more. Let's just listen in.
Chasing this motorcycle. Who is this motorcycle? Well, working, again, I would venture to say it is correct. Is it correct? We're still working on all the information. Skyfox, we were in the Rancho Cucamonga area, right by Victoria Gardens, where there was a deputy-involved shooting, where a deputy was the one that was the victim and was shot. There's a huge presence out there, law enforcement. They got the condominium surrounded. While we were there, this vehicle came out of that condominium complex and the pursuit was on. Now, is this that shooting suspect? Is this a distraction? I can't fill in those blanks. I'm going to let the viewers kind of put those pieces together on their own. What I can tell you, though, is fact is that motorcycle almost immediately getting out of that condominium complex was running against traffic up Day Creek Road up to the 210 freeway, got onto the 210 freeway, and at one point this motorcycle was over 150 miles an hour on the 210. Now, law enforcement, they're definitely not letting this person walk. I can guarantee you that. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, they had a helicopter in the air. That one was following along with Skyfox. And on the ground, a number of units were chasing this vehicle as well. Even some of those California Highway Patrol cars were keeping up with this vehicle on the was following along with Skyfox, and on the ground, a number of units were chasing this vehicle as well. Even some of those California Highway Patrol cars were keeping up with this vehicle on the freeway. Take a look at that. Those maneuvers, Sandy, I do not want to see anybody lose their life on television, but this is one of those ones where I have to show it. We got to stay tight. We got to do our job. But I am not joking when I tell you my blood is running cold, especially when that vehicle starts, that motorcycle starts wobbling, gets so close to a lot of these cars. Anything unpredictable happens in front of that motorcycle. I don't want to see that outcome. Yeah, for a moment there, you saw the California Highway Patrol. That's one of their motorcycle units. They're basically just getting up close, making their presence known. Hopefully this driver makes the right decisions. As it stands right now, look at those numbers. We're just coming out of the triple digits, and it does seem like he's slowing down. Hopefully,
there it is.
Hopefully it's going to
Here we go.
an end. But you have to remember, that suspect is wanted for a deputy-involved shooting where a deputy was shot. So, yes, law enforcement, they are going to try to bring this to an end. They might use some practical ways to bring it to an end.
Yeah.
But take a look at that, Sandy.
Did we just see this motorist on the motorcycle trying to kind of sway into the CHP motor officer as well?
Yep. Yes, definitely. And was the motorcycle officer maybe trying to get up close to the suspect to bring that suspect down? Maybe. This is one of those ones where it is just one of we just watch it, and I just don't want to see anybody lose their life this afternoon, especially not on our cameras. You can see this driver clearly is very comfortable with the way they're handling that motorcycle, but that doesn't mean that this is any kind of safe. Right now, it looks like he's boom. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Wow, we didn't see that coming. That really came out of nowhere as we were watching this motorcyclist. Very comfortable on the bike there.
Believe me, they're going to take that suspect. He's still moving. That is a plus. They are definitely going to take him into custody. It did look like the motorcycle did land on top of him once he was on the ground. Now, I have to say, you got a number of officers down there. I can guarantee you I can guarantee you they're going to stop the freeway, but they're also going to start calling for paramedics. They're already calling for paramedics. And again, how they're going to get there this quickly is another question. But wow,
yeah.
that I'm telling you, that is definitely not the ending I wanted to see. I am hoping that suspect survives.
All right,
but,
we see movement from the suspect, I believe.
What a crazy crash that was.
Yeah, and as you were tracking that motorcyclist, the speeds are about 70 miles per hour at that point. As you were mentioning, very comfortably riding along the freeway right there, kind of hands off the handlebars at that point, kind of just adjusting, and then all of a sudden crashing to the vehicle in front of him that came out of nowhere. We didn't see that happening, obviously, so we do want to apologize for that, but clearly just a violent ending right there as the motorist flew off of that motorcycle upon collision, rear-ending that one vehicle along the freeway right there on the 210 eastbound. But wow, what a scene here. Again, the original want for this pursuit, as you mentioned, Stu, was a deputy-involved shooting that happened in the San Bernardino area. There's another scene at that location at this point where there's a perimeter set up around the situation and around the area where that shooting happened. So law enforcement officials have two scenes they are dealing with at this point, really trying to find out and piece together what exactly happened. So this is on the right side of your screen where that white truck is. You're seeing the scene at the officer-involved shooting where that deputy was in fact involved in this shooting. And we believe, again, the pursuit happened because of this, and that is why they were following that motorcyclist on the 210. So again, on the right side of your screen, you're looking at the area and the neighborhood where that shooting took place in San Bernardino. Stu.
Sandra, we're getting confirmation that is the suspect. We've got confirmation from our assignment desk that is the suspect that it was wanted for what started as some sort of burglary at Victoria Gardens, then turned into a deputy-involved shooting blocks away from that mall. And then now you can see that there was a crazy pursuit on that 210 freeway, ending in that tragic crash out there. Now as far as we can tell, I don't want to get too gory because I know we are still live, but there are actual paramedics down there that work for the sheriff's department that are administering first aid to that suspect after they did take him into custody. My question is for you and maybe some of the viewers, is we do know that motorcycle collided with or basically bumped into the side of a civilian's vehicle. And I just don't know where that civilian's vehicle is. I'm hoping that person is okay as well. And again, at the time of the crash, we all saw it live. He was actually, he had taken off his backpack. He didn't even have his hands on the handlebars, and he was going through his backpack for some reason while he was on the freeway. At any rate, coming to a crashing end. That suspect now in custody. This is going to be on that eastbound 210 freeway. We're going to be in the Rancho Cucamonga upland area. Excuse me, we're in the upland area right now. You can see all lanes are stopped. They may be like this for some time. There might be some traffic issues. You can see some of the first responders from the fire department, paramedics arriving. We're going to see if they hopefully they do, transport that suspect. But again, what a wild and unfortunate ending to what's been going on out here in the Rancho Cucamonga area. And
Stu, we were just looking at a double box on the right side of your screen earlier. You were seeing the pursuit as it happened before we got to this point of the collision on the 210 freeway, and we are going to show once again how this ended up tragically in an accident right here at this location. We do want to remind viewers that it is disturbing to watch, but again, this pursuit happening, and we went on the air around 1:30. There it is. That's the collision and how we got to this point on the 210. But there you saw the motorcyclist distracted with hands off the handlebar and then ramming into the side of that innocent motorist and vehicle traveling along the 210. But sheriff deputies do believe and have confirmed that this is the suspect wanted in a deputy-involved shooting that happened in San Bernardino. And there it is again. It's tough to watch, but time and again, we cover these pursuits. We don't know what motivates these people to take off and evade authorities. And obviously, we never know how it's going to end. And unfortunately, in this situation, it is involving medical personnel on the scene and obviously a devastating crash like this, Stu.
Well, Sandy, I'm having a lot of trouble with the IFB, but I just want to, say just a little bit is, we don't, or I personally don't know the condition of the deputy that was shot, that started pretty much all of this or put it all into motion. I do hope that that deputy is going to be okay. Law enforcement, they are out here in force. They were out there at that condominium in force looking for that suspect. How he got on that motorcycle, how he made that quick departure, all of that they're going to figure out later on. I can tell you that fire department, you can see that's the first one arriving right there. They probably definitely have paramedics on board. We're going to keep an eye on it to see if they or how they treat that suspect, meaning are they going to put this person on a gurney or is it going to be something else? But as far as that freeway goes, also got to put it out there is if the eastbound 210 is your ride today, especially through the upland area, I would definitely make other plans, especially because that freeway is going to be closed for some time, and we're going to wait on that ambulance and see where that suspect goes from here.
All right, we are getting information into the newsroom that this all apparently started, as you mentioned, Stu, with an apparent shoplifting incident at Victoria Mall. That is where the origin of all this happened, and then the scene moved on to an apartment building across the street in that location, and that is where somehow, apparently, there was a deputy-involved shooting, and then they witnessed this suspect on a motorcycle just take off, high speeds, Stu, as you were following this whole situation, reaching up to what, 170 miles per hour on a motorcycle, going the opposite direction of traffic.
Yeah, extremely reckless driving. When we got on the freeway, that's when the speeds got well into the triple digits. When he was on Day Creek making his way from the Victoria Gardens up to the 210, that was basically the entire ride was weaving back and forth through oncoming traffic. So he was driving the wrong way on Day Creek, making his way up to the 210 freeway. Once he got on that freeway, though, he really did open it up. But even the law enforcement, the California Highway Patrol, they did have some vehicles that were not keeping up, but staying close enough that they were nearby. And then you saw that motorcycle officer make that attempt to maybe bring this to an end. But
yeah, that pit maneuver, we actually have video of that, Stu. Let's roll that as you talk about this, because this is kind of an unusual pursuit of a suspect on a motorcycle. There you see the CHP officer right there approaching the side, and it looks like trying to make a pit maneuver, but the suspect then ramming a little bit into the CHP officer and then taking off. Talk a little bit about that, Stu, as we witness that live on the air.
I would love to sit down or have a talk with some officers from the California Highway Patrol, especially their motorbike division, because I wonder what the protocol is for something like that. That was a dangerous maneuver, but again, the officers that are out there on patrol, they weigh their risk with with what that suspect is wanted for at all times, and that is one of those ones. He's taking that risk, knowing that this is a very wanted suspect. But I don't know what the plan was there. I've never seen a motorcycle try to pit another motorcycle. I am moving a little bit closer in now because that suspect is not fatal. I can tell you that. That person is actually sitting up right now. They've got the neck brace on.
Wow.
They have paramedics working with him, so he's definitely going to be going to a hospital. There's much relief there in my voice because I just don't don't, you know, a day at work where we watch anybody pass is not a good day at work, but this makes my day feeling a lot better. That suspect in custody, and again, what a crazy crash that was. And take a look at that freeway. That is a number of law enforcement and some other vehicles that they're starting to basically squeeze through. But California Highway Patrol, they're kind of opening up one lane to get everybody by. But how long?
All right, you're just listening in there. A scary incident in Southern California. This high-speed chase coming to a dramatic conclusion with that violent crash. And we'll keep you up to date on all of those developments, as this started with a shoplifting incident at a Victoria Mall there in Southern California. They led police on this pursuit, the 210 West, upwards of 140 miles an hour. I'm Andy Mack here on Live Now from Vox. We're back after this.